the champions of college football.
Eludes the kicker and will not be caught. Touchdown, Grant. Alabama back on top. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins. The Crimson Tide will not be denied. Devontae Smith cannot be stopped. Saban with his 7th national championship.
National championship number 18. 13 in all. Absolute perfection.
Jay Barker led the Crimson Tide to a national championship in 1992. Winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and a finalist in New York for the Heisman Trophy. Voted the SEC Player of the Year. Drafted by the Green Bay Packers, seeing time with the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. The winningest quarterback in Alabama history with the record of 35-2-1. Member of the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. Jay Barker brings that same championship quality and football expertise to his own radio network and show. Joining him is University of Alabama professor Lars Anderson, who is also a New York Times best-selling author and a 20-year veteran of Sports Illustrated. Live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham, The Jay Barker Show.
A lot of adversity and resiliency through the course of the year, and really extremely proud of the way they've sort of put themselves in a position to have a chance to, win a championship. It's going to be a tremendous challenge for us to play against, I think one of the best teams or the best team in the country in terms of consistency and performance and how they played all year long. Georgia's got a really good team. They've got great balance on offense, defense, special teams. They've got really good specialists. So this is a really good all-around team. And practice preparation is going to be really important for us to go out there and be able to execute the way we need to be able to have any chance of success at all.
All right, welcome in. It is the Monday edition, and after an Alabama win this past weekend, and man, what a win it was for the Crimson Tide, and now face off against Georgia once again for the 19th national championship possibility for the Crimson Tide. But big win over Cincinnati, and we're going to break that down for you, talk about kind of all the big plays, everything, kind of all the highlights from that particular matchup for Alabama. Georgia also gets it done against Michigan in a dominating performance, 34-11, and Alabama 27-6 were the final scores. Again, Brian Robinson, B-Rob, who a lot of people have talked about this year and talked about his potential as an NFL quarterback. 28 carries and ended up with 204 yards on the day. Bryce Young, 17 of 28, 181, 3 touchdowns, and also Ja'Cory Brooks, once again, a big play by him on the catch and the score as he was able to get the ball across the pylon. So a big day for the Crimson Tide. Georgia also, again, a big win, 34-11. Stetson Bennett, 20 of 30, 313 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So the rematch of the SEC title game is Alabama and Georgia for the national championship. We'll see whether or not Nick Saban can get them at number 8, number 19 for the Crimson Tide. We're presented by Top Golf of Birmingham, and you're going to love it. Get out to Top Golf Birmingham, Mark Grenier, and all the great folks there at Top Golf. It is the bowling of this generation, and they'll let you have a great time with his family, friends, co-workers. You'll love Top Golf of Birmingham. And driven by Sunny King Ford on the sunny side of the street, Oxford and Anderson. Go see Tony Russell and all the great folks at Sunny King Ford. All right, before chaos begins in the studio, I think Lars is about to bring all of his kids in here in just 1 second. But before that, your thoughts on the games this past weekend. And once again, Saban can play for his 8th, Alabama for the 19th national title. And just what they've done the last 12, 13 years has just been phenomenal.
Jay, thank you. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year, yes.
We're going to have a tremendous 2022. First thing I'm going to start with is what you just said, and you were talking about Nick Saban. It was 15 years ago that Mal brought him literally to the podium at the University of Alabama. Since then, you mentioned the national championships with 6. He's been in 9 national championship games in 15 years. You know, we're aware of it, We've lived them. But even when I reread them, I go, what? Are you kidding me? But anyway, to reflect on the game, I think I said last week, I'm not breaking my arm, patting myself on the back. I said I think Alabama's best bet here is to grind it out, to keep the ball out of Ritter's hands and give it to B-Rob. And they fed B-Rob time after time after time. And, Jay, aren't you just absolutely elated for the senior for the way he came through with 204 yards? Cincinnati's secondary is BA. Really, truly. Their corners locked down our wide receivers, and they got some pressure. I know the score doesn't indicate it that much, but I was very impressed with Cincinnati. And it wasn't until late in that contest that you kind of felt Alabama. Weren't they just like one Ritter pass away from being right back in it and winning this football game?
When the interception happened, I thought, okay, that could be the momentum changer.
Exactly.
The overthrow and, look, pressure in his face coming up the middle. Bryce throws it down. It reminded me a lot of the Clemson game, out in, I guess it was, what was it? California. Here comes the group.
Here come the minions. This ought to be fun.
Yeah, Lincoln is laughing. So, so it kind of reminded me of that when they were out in California playing, and Tua threw that deep down the middle throw and went over the top and he gets the interception. That momentum kind of shift even after the first interception. So I thought, okay, this might be something of importance as far as momentum, but Alabama answered. Defense stepped up, stopped them. Then Alabama went down, able to score again, and also able to run the clock out. And again, B-Rob, just what a great day for him. I knew going into this game, I talked to Braxton throughout the week. He said, we're going to run. I think, 10 out of the first 11 plays were run plays, and B-Rob was the feature guy. He said he enjoyed putting his team on his back in a sense, even though it was a team effort. But for him to be that big of a part of that, get the 204 yards rushing in a game of that magnitude was huge.
And again, the O-line stepped up. I know they had their problems, and I hate to continue to point him out, but Chris Owens still struggling at right tackle, missed some blocks, had a couple of crucial penalties. But all in all, that's just still not the same offensive line that we saw earlier in the year at Jordan-Hare Stadium. And it's amazing to me that they have improved that much. And Saban was asked about it in his news conference just a little while ago, and he just kind of, said, well, that's the way it is. And you know what? That's the way it is. Now, Jay, Lars, how is Alabama to maintain that against Georgia, who has Alabama dialed in?
It's going to be a challenge for Alabama. I mean, Jay knows better than anyone. It is so difficult to beat a team twice in one season, not to mention twice in 3 games. And you're right. The offensive line looked like a different unit than they did against Georgia, and that has got to be a cause for concern. How can they recapture that magic and mitigate that dominating defensive line of Georgia? But guys, I want to ask you just one, Jay, was that Alabama's B game? If you had to give it a grade, and also
the B-Rob game,
yeah, and also
nice
just
one.
How impressive was Cincinnati? You got to give them so much credit.
Yeah.
They showed that they deserve to be there. They truly are the 4th best team in the country, maybe 3rd best team.
Yeah, and then Michigan laid an egg.
Oh gosh,
34-11, and we talked about the matchups and how that even though they're big, even though that the trenches were somewhere where this was a really good matchup for Georgia, it wasn't a good matchup for them athletically. Just the size, the speed. We talked about the old kind of SEC Big Ten matchups, but yeah, Alabama's I don't know if it's B game, but remember we talked about last week. Does this team, and when we said this year, do they play to the level of their competition? They kind of do. And it seems like when they need to turn it up, they turn it up. When the sense of urgency against Georgia, it's going to be tough to play a team again. It's harder to come back and beat a team once you beat them before. Look at that LSU Alabama game, 9-6 in 2011. They go back down and dominated LSU in the Sugar Bowl with them to get past the 50-yard line. So really, this is going to be a challenge for Alabama. Today workouts, walkthroughs. Tomorrow they start preparation. I think they leave on Friday. I think it is for the game. They will treat this more like a game than they do. They'll have an extra day more than what they normally have, but it's not going to be like a bowl type of scenario for them. It's more about going to play for a championship.
Lars, a word comes to mind with this particular victory. First of all, it goes back 10 years ago to way Saban won national championships then. I mean, they're grinding it out, and they've got a very controlled game quarterback. That's not the way you normally subscribe a Heisman Trophy winner, but I would say it was very workmanlike.
Workmanlike is exactly the word that came to mind too for me. But Jay, how big was the loss of Mechie? Is that why Alabama threw, I think, for a season low in passing yards, 184? Or was that just part of a function of the game plan?
I think it was a function of the game plan. I think also, too, that I think they realized physically they could beat them up front. I think with Coach O'Brien being out and being virtual for pretty much the entire week, that, I think that may have had some effects on it as well as far as the preparation going into it. I'll tell you this, Ja'Cory Brooks is phenomenal. You've got, JoJo Earl is great. You got other guys there that if they just get other things off the field lined up and squared away, they'd be out there playing as well. There's a lot of talent there. Mechie, you miss his leadership. You miss his maybe blocking down the field, which I think Ja'Cory's done that as well. So, look, anybody of that caliber, anybody that's had that kind of experience, the guy that's played in championships, not to have him on the field, that does hurt you. And, I think for them to have seen how Ja'Cory has really stepped up in that role, and Slade Bolden had a great game as well this past game against Cincinnati. I think it was just the game plan, Lars. I really do. I think they did a really good job over the top of Jamison, and I thought that they were able to contain him at times. He was able to break loose on a few. I thought Coach O'Brien did a really good job with some of the jet sweeps, different plays to get him some looks and some touches in order for him to make some plays. So just, I thought even though it's not, the normal what we saw out of Bryce Young, this is really more what we thought this team was going to be this year, I think.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really did. Yeah, I think to add to what y'all are talking about on the loss of Mechie, I think there was one point of the game that Cincinnati did kind of dictate what Alabama did. It was passing vertically, and I think that goes back to what I said. Their corners, man, those guys are going to play in the Sunday on Sundays for a long
picks in the draft.
They're very high picks, and I think that they cut down on that, and because of it, Bill O'Brien said, "Okay, let's just run it more."
Yeah.
And they did. And by the way, a little goes to Trey. He had 64 yards. And when Brian needed a blow, and he needed it a lot, what did he have? 26, 27 carries, something like that. He needed a rest. And I think Trey wasn't quite the powerful back that Alabama got in B-Rob. He sliced and diced and ended up contributing significantly to Alabama's run game.
Sat right behind the Trey Sanders' parents, and the entire game they were just going nuts for B-Rob, and then his dad kept going B-Rob and MVP, all that, and then when Trey got in it there at the end and got some plays, and he would made it that long run, and Jordan Battle's dad or uncle, whoever came down, and he's like, "Come on, give your son some props, give him some love."
Is that what? Okay.
And he was just a very, very humble family, and you can tell they're all about team. And wanted to see these guys do well. They worry more about the back room, as far as the meeting room more than they do just about their son. But good stuff. All right,
let's snorkel.
Is that a snorkel or is that like
it's like
a motorcycle?
It's like I don't know. It's like they're gonna play. They all got toy little guns, and they're about ready to have a battle.
Invaded here, Jack.
I love it. Hey, I want to get you guys' thoughts about AB on the other side. And, man, it's been a tough go. And I know you know Bruce and very well Lars and kind of that whole situation, but just surrounding mental health and all that coming up. We'll get into that and much more on the other side. Stay with us. We're live from AVX. Audio Video Excellence continues.
Yo, what's up? This is Labradore's 7-time champ, also known as Big Shot Bob, and you're listening to the Jay Barker Show.
Roll Tide, the best sports talk, period. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Everything is better at Benton Nissan. At Benton Nissan of Bessemer and Benton Nissan of Hoover, you get an even bigger selection. We have more than 400 used cars on the ground. Don't pay above sticker for new cars when we have like-new used cars waiting for you. Drive a little, save a lot at Benton Nissan of Bessemer, 5487 Academy Way, and Benton Nissan of Hoover, 1640 Montgomery Highway. Benton Nissan, your friend in the car business. For qualified customers, see dealer for details. Everything is better at Benton Nissan.
Work is a part of all of us. We know that the world around us has changed, and that's why the Alabama Department of Labor is here to get you back to working hard. Work is a part of all of us. Let us help you get back to it by visiting your local career center or alabamaworks.alabama.gov. Funding provided by the USDOL, ETA, and Federal WIOA, and Equal Opportunity Employer Program. Auxiliary aids and services available upon request. Brought to you by this station and the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
Ask big. Have you seen our artisan-created diamonds? If you've been in a room with one, you can't miss it.
Tom Osmond from Fincher and Osmond.
It's a diamond like I've never seen.
And he's seen a lot of diamonds.
Ask big.
At Fincher and Osmond, you can put artisan-created diamonds side by side with mined diamonds. When you see it.
More importantly, when she sees it.
FincherandOsmond.com.
McFarland Boulevard between Edgar's and Local Roots.
Dell's New Year event is here with amazing deals on XPS and Alienware laptops with Intel Core processors. Kick off 2022 with incredible savings on accessories like webcams, monitors, gaming headsets, all with free shipping. Just call 800-BUY-DELL.
Hear ye, hear ye. Thanks for coming to the town square. First, I'd like to tell you about Steve. He's a plumber. I hear he does good work. Also, Tim. He's this new thing called a dentist. Oh, thing, yeah. Need those things, just wander around town and try to find them because the internet hasn't been invented yet, so I don't know.
Well, this isn't the olden days. Now word of mouth has gone online. At Town Square Tuscaloosa, we can show you how to harness the power of your existing word of mouth and amplify it online. Go to townsquarelocal.com for a free local customer analysis where you can see how many local customers in Tuscaloosa you could reach online. Visit townsquarelocal.com and be the town square today. That's townsquarelocal.com for a free local customer analysis where you can see how many local customers in Tuscaloosa you could be reaching online. Visit townsquarelocal.com today and be the town square.
O'Reilly. Trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car. Like 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil, just $31.95. Plus, get a $10 O'Reilly gift card with your purchase. Extend the life of your vehicle and improve performance with a synthetic oil change. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. The best biscuits in town, made from scratch. Buttermilk biscuits, sandwiches, and bite-sized snacks, sausage, ham, chicken, and many more varieties. Get them freshly baked or pre-cooked and bake them yourself. Where? Nowhere else but the Biscuit Shop, Essex Square Shopping Center, Northport. TheBiscuitLady.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Becoming partially sunny this afternoon, cold and breezy, the high 42. Clear tonight with the low at 26. Tomorrow is sunny day, the high 56. Then for Wednesday, dry during the day, but clouds will increase. A chance of showers Wednesday night, the high 57. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 35 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Back in, and hey, Lars, by the way, Tay says hello. I see that on screen there.
Yeah, that's
tell Jay and Matt hi as well.
That's a Tatum out in Nebraska.
The Nick Saban era has just been unbelievable. Alabama Crimson Tide, you brought it up earlier, how many times they played for the national championship, and the right now, the overall record under Saban, 178-24, won 20 bowl game appearances with 15 victories, 9 SEC West SEC championships, and 6 national championships. Since 2008, Saban's teams have spent all or part of each season ranked number 1 in the national polls. which is amazing in itself. So a lot of records and things that are being broken and done under Coach Saban and the Crimson Tide. And once again, and look, even going to that game, I was getting people texting me out in Dallas saying, what's the crowd? They were working. I really thought so too. The night before, we were at Live Texas or Texas Live, and I don't know if you've ever been to this place. It is it's probably the best kind of sports bar entertainment. It's huge. It's got this one big area where there's like the big screen is like the Jumbotron at Auburn.
It really
is.
big.
It's unbelievable. Then you have, and it's got a stage, and then you have all these different areas like bars and stuff. Then you have another area with stage, and so there's probably about 5 or 6 stages inside this entire. It's kind of like a Billy Bob's on crack. It's a lot bigger and a lot different, but it's not really a honky tonk, but a really cool place. So we went there both nights, the night before and the night after the game, and we were at a Cincinnati party was happening inside that main room. So I'm like, oh my gosh, man, they've got so many Cincinnati fans. Then I began to see more and more Alabama fans. But everybody, they said, is it 70-30? I thought it was either around no less than 60-40 Alabama fans. I thought it might have been easily 50-50, especially when the game ended. And you could see the fans in the stands because the colors were so much kind of similar. It was kind of hard to tell because of the reds. But, yeah, it was a great environment. And I know for Cincinnati, that was a big stage for them. And to be a part of that and to represent the group of 5, they wanted to make a big statement. The win for them, they would rather have won the game and had put up more points. But at the same time, they were just overmatched. I mean, you could just look down the field and the talent level. I mean, watching Will Anderson, watching Dallas Turner, Dallas Turner is going to be a player, big time, even though he already is. But and Will Anderson addressed that and talked a little bit about that after the game. So, but yeah, a fun game to watch and a big win for the Crimson Tide.
Not on a totally different note, Jay, you talked about this before the break, that what happened with Antonio Brown, and it was hard to watch, hard to see. He's a wide receiver for Tampa Bay, and Bruce Arians had. Can you take it for a second?
Absolutely, I can. For those that don't know, Antonio Brown got upset with BA, and he asked him to go into the game, which that's kind of his job, isn't it? He refused, and then he got very angry, and they tried to calm him down, and he ended up just removing his pads, his jersey, and shirtless, he ran through the end zone out the tunnel.
Yeah.
I think he picked up his personal belongings, and he caught a cab and got out of there.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that, Jay. And this guy has been getting second, third, fourth, fifth chances. And I was surprised that Bruce Arians did that after the violations of the protocol when it comes to vaccinations, because he said he only had one chance. Well, BA gave him another chance, which has happened way too often, in my opinion. And now he just simply said after the news conference, that he's no longer a Buck. And it's kind of easy to make fun and to say things like Terry Bradshaw did.
We got that up for you.
Yeah,
Want to hear that?
Here's what Terry Bradshaw had to say about it after looking at the videotape and watching AB dance shirtless through the end zone.
If there's no altercation and it's just him tripping off because he's not going to reach certain goals on the receiving to get his bonus money of $1 million, then they need to put him in a straight jacket and take him straight to some hospital and get him analyzed.
Well,
Been different if a kid was throwing Coca-Cola. Here, kid.
It's 25 years ago you could say that, but now he's getting beat up on Twitter. And I think although you want to get mad at him, I get a little angry at BA for giving him so many chances. But guys, the bottom line here is, and we're more in tune with it than we were even just a few years ago. There's a mental issue here, and that needs to be first and foremost and addressed before we start talking about him losing bonuses and all that. Obviously, and Bradshaw was kidding. It's kind of funny because I think a lot of us were thinking that. This day and age, you just can't say it. But Jay, he has mental issues that need to be dealt with. He's a danger to himself, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And look, if it's from football or from something psychological he went through in the past, something he's going through now, they're triggers, and something triggered him in that game to make him react that's not normal. And there's no way that a player in the NFL, much less an adult, would act that way in front of that many people. What kind of statement are you trying to make? The millions of dollars that you're losing, the ability, your branding and marketing, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I mean, as you said, there is definitely something not right. And the only thing I would say, and I know BA and those guys gave him a lot of chances. And Tom after the game said, "Hey, look, we love the guy. He just can't be a part of our team." I still hope that the NFL, somebody reaches out to him and helps him get help. He needs to get somewhere, get into a clinic. He needs to get some things squared away, get things looked at, and make sure kind of where he's at, because you don't want anything to take even a worse turn than what it's done so far.
And he was so close to hitting marks for getting big time bonuses. And look, he was not benched. He was not benched. And nobody knows really what set him off. And I, of course, am close with Bruce because I've written 2 books with him essentially. And I defended him. And certainly people on social media have just been crucifying Bruce, but because he did say when he signed Antonio, you get one chance, and this is your one chance. But last year he was a great teammate. He accepted a diminished role. He didn't have to be the star, and then he puts forward a vaccination card that has been fabricated, manipulated, and really put his whole team at risk because of his behavior, and suspended 3 games. And then when Bruce was asked by a reporter, and it's a legitimate question, "Hey, why'd you bring him back?" And Bruce's answer was, "Well, he's evolved. I've seen him. He's done all the right things. He made this one mistake, but if you look at the totality of the big picture with Antonio, he's on the right track." And clearly, Bruce was incorrect about that, Matt.
He was incorrect. He was very short in his answers concerning the situation afterwards.
I think he's embarrassed.
And he should be, to be quite honest with you. I mean, and I'm not an AB basher. I went through some of the things that he's done. Remember way back, he claimed he was injured, or he actually was injured because of chirogenics. What's it called? With his burned feet.
Oh,
You
yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
He had to sit out practice because of that. And then there was the excuse me. He's mentally ill, so I don't need to be too critical. The helmet tirade.
Yep.
You remember that?
Yeah.
He didn't want to wear.
He went after Mayock.
And the NFL said, "Hey, here's what you're supposed to wear." Everybody else. Then there was an issue with the security guard or security shack, where he threw his bicycle at the security guard's security shack, and then he broke the security camera, I guess, in an effort to cover up what he's done. Then there was the trainer sexual assault issue, in which he had to settle out of court. Then there was an attack on a moving truck driver, and followed by the vaccination status.
Yeah.
So,
And also didn't pay his chef $10,000, and that's what led to the investigation that revealed the vaccination,
because his chef told on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jay, you ever seen anything?
Yeah. Now, also, Jay, I want to ask you:
I have seen.
Can something like this?
Okay. Yeah, I have seen
Can something like this derail an entire team? Because this was a kind of a traumatic experience for It was just hard to watch.
It can, but I think it more would bring them together, because everybody said, "Okay, now somebody else got to step up." They're already down. They're hurting at wide receiver. Tampa.
Yeah.
Now
they lost Godwin at
Right.
ACL, and now it's just it's Mike Evans and all hands on deck.
Yep. So it's gonna be interesting what BA does for us, going out finding another receiver or two, as they're right now still in a great position where they are and what they've done this year. Lars, I mean, it can disrupt things. The worst part is if that was to happen, he stayed in the locker room. If he stayed there and continued to talk about things, continue to be a cancer, that's what I think BA was more worried about that than anything. From the very beginning, he made those comments talking about it. The Steelers, he was a diva and wasn't sure whether or not he fit the mold and the character and the way that they wanted the type of players at Tampa. And and now he had somewhat of a pretty good year, pretty good
and
run.
also
They won the championship.
Brady vouched for him.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Brady vouched
Brady
for
took
him.
him in.
I mean,
literally.
it was stayed at his house, and Brady was the one going to Bruce's office and Jason Light's office, the GM, every single day last year. Sign AB, sign AB, sign AB, and they finally gave in, and it certainly blew up in their faces yesterday.
If you don't mind, right there, that audio, I see that you got it up right there. If you want to play that real quick, Josh, on the way out, if we can, and to hear what Tom Brady did have to say, because I thought he did show a lot of empathy. There,
yes,
after
great comment.
the game, really great comment. Here's what Tom Brady had to say about it.
It's a difficult situation, and I think we all want him to just think everybody should find hopefully do what they can to help him in ways that he really needs it. And we all love him, we care about him deeply. We want to see him be at his best, and unfortunately won't be with our team, but we have a lot of friendships that will last. And again, I think the most important thing about football are the relationships with your friends and your teammates, and they go beyond the field. And I think everyone should be very compassionate and empathetic toward some very difficult things that are happening. It's obviously a difficult situation, and I think we all want him to just think everybody should find hopefully do what they can to help him in ways that he really needs it.
Hey, this is Roger Hoover of the Crimson Tide Sports Network, and you're listening to The Jay Barker Show.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
Hi, it's Jay Barker for AVX, Audio Video Excellence. They are the premier provider for custom audio-visual design and installation in the Southeast. AVX seeks excellence in everything it does, including a superior employee experience. AVX offers employees an industry-leading salary, insurance benefits, and 401k options. AVX technicians also receive the highest level of certification and continue training, making it one of the most awarded and decorated companies in the industry. Career opportunities are available now for technicians in Birmingham and Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Join the AVX team by contacting them at avxinc.com.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. If you're average and you're looking for a new pair of running or walking shoes, I suggest you go to an average shoe store, where they'll sell you a pair of average shoes built for the average person with average size feet. But here's the thing, you're not average. No one is. We all exercise differently. We run differently. We walk differently. And our feet come in all sorts of widths and lengths. That's why at the New Balance Birmingham store, we employ fit specialists who will conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot's size and shape, along with your gait, and then determine the best New Balance shoes custom fit to you. Because New Balance isn't your average shoe, and you're not average either. Experience the difference an unaverage custom fit makes today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269.
When you go to turn on the lights, you expect them to work. Our team at Alabama Power does too. But sometimes extreme weather and events test our system. Knowing we're out there making repairs helps, but answer what you deserve. So we're rolling out tools to keep you informed, especially during storms. Visit Alabama Power's new outage map to see outages in your area and get updates on repair times. And sign up to get personalized outage alerts on your phone or computer for free. Learn more at alabamapower.com/alerts.
At Schaefer Plastic Surgery, not only they treat you like family, you get a free opening consultation. Not normally you get that for elective surgeries you do with Dr. Schaefer. And he also combines experience gained from nearly 2 decades in practice, 8 years in advanced training to achieve beautiful, transformative results for his patients. As a board-certified plastic surgeon, Dr. Schaefer's goal is to exceed expectations while being dedicated to safety before, during, and after the procedure. Go online at SchaeferPlasticSurge.com. That's SchaeferPlasticSurg.com or 205-278-7969. For more information and located on Highway 280 across from Grandview Hospital.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There is. It's called GoFan. Check out GoFan.co the next time you need a ticket for a high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit GoFan.co now. That's GoFan.C.O.
I don't know that experience is going to have anything to do with this experience. We've got a different team. They've got a different team. They've got a good team. So, I don't know. Our players were focused in the game. Those 2 games were extremely hard fought, close games in both circumstances. And I would expect, the same, in this game. I think, both teams sort of realize where they are, the opportunity that they've created for themselves, and everybody's going to be really zeroed in on trying to do the best job that they can to, take advantage of it. So I don't know there's, anything that I can really take from that experience that's going to have any effect or impact on this one. Gave our team an opportunity to mature. We have a really, really young team. We don't have very many seniors that play a significant role. I don't know, 3 or 4 starters on the whole team. So, and I think with young players who had sort of had a lot of success in terms of wins prior to the Texas A&M game, maybe lost respect for winning or what it takes to prepare to win on a consistent basis. I think it made people realize the importance of leadership, setting a good example, holding each other accountable. I think there were a lot of internal lessons that actually helped this team mature and grow. And most of the time when people don't have success, they learn from it more readily than when they have success. And I think that was certainly the case for our team.
All right, welcome back in. Nick Saban, press conference today talking about the matchup against Georgia rematch. And, even though they played a couple weeks back, still 2 different teams, and they learned a lot from the matchup. So did Georgia as well. And both teams bringing to the national title game a lot different as far as viewpoint on each other and kind of the self-scouting things they got to learn from in that first matchup. All right, as we continue, again, Georgia, you get the big win over Michigan. Really haven't had a chance to talk about that as much. We were talking about some of the Antonio Brown stuff that happened this weekend in the NFL. But, man, for Jim Harbaugh, this was kind of that statement game, Matt. He wanted to go out and really make a statement that, hey, not only did we beat Ohio State, we won the Big Ten, but now we can compete for a national championship. Michigan is back, and Georgia proved otherwise, and Georgia looked really good this past weekend.
Well, I think Michigan is back. I mean, they got there, and they got the Buckeye monkey off their back. So, but to get slapped around like Kirby Smart's Bulldogs did, y'all realize this, and I didn't. It's not like I did exhaustive research and went, whoa, wow. Georgia scored the first 5 times they had the football in a row to start the game. This game was never in doubt. If one of the 2 would have been more of a blowout, you would have thought it had been Alabama. And I know, Lars, I'm not picking on you because it would have been.
I deserve it.
It would have been easy to. Hey, I almost went with Michigan too, because of what I saw in Georgia against Alabama. Which we'll get to this rematch in detail. But you're a Big Ten guy.
I am.
There's no way any of us expected them to get slugged in the mouth repeatedly.
And it just shows you that the best teams in the SEC are light years ahead of the best teams right now in the Big Ten. And I would have preferred to see Ohio State in that game. And it was sort of a perfect storm, literally, for Michigan to beat Ohio State in the snow. And CJ Stroud, a California kid, never even practiced in the snow. But I was just shocked at the line of scrimmage that Georgia was able to dominate both sides. I did not think that was going to happen, and I really thought that Michigan was going to be able to run the ball and set up play action pass, and it just it didn't happen. And man, it's going to be tough for Alabama. It's going to be tough.
They're not favored. Yeah, it was halfway through the second half. Yeah, really.
Yummy.
Oh, it was halfway through the second half. I turned to Carolyn and went, "You watch, Georgia will be favored by 2.5." Not that I'm any kind of crystal ball guy, but why y'all think that is? I mean, Alabama just beat the dog out of them. They handled their semifinal opponent.
I think Vegas just doesn't have a belief in Alabama that they can do it 2 times in a row.
Jay.
It's probably that more than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing about it. If Saban does, we always talk about maybe some of his best coaching is done in years where it's not all great. Like last year was unbelievable, right? But, it's just like everything was just perfect. This year, they've had some ups and downs, and he had to really learn how to kind of walk his team through maturing and getting them of age, then began to become a little bit tougher, began to demand a little bit more, and then now he seems to kind of have them running on that right, the momentum that they need and the sense of urgency that they didn't have early in the year, especially in prep, getting ready for the game. So the key in this game, as it was in the last one, and Kirby knows this as well as Coach Saban, because Saban does it as well as anybody, is you can't get your team ready too early. You can't get them psychologically, mentally, emotionally ready now. They got to be ready come Monday, and you got to pace that out and make sure that you don't get the guys too overhyped, excited, whatever. I really am glad Alabama is underdog in this. I think this team plays well from the underdog position as well as any team we've seen at Alabama, and I think they like that challenge, and they're going to do everything they can to muster up some kind of motivation. Lars, that we've seen with Coach Saban does it many times, plays the psychological game with his team in order to get those guys fired up and ready to play.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Saban, today's the 15-year anniversary of him landing in Tuscaloosa, and that big crowd out there at the Tuscaloosa Regional Airport looking up into the heavens, waiting for the Messiah to arrive.
That girl kissed him right on the mouth.
And she got a DUI later that night.
Yeah.
But she was intoxicated from the kiss.
Yes. I think the entire state was intoxicated by
the SEC.
No, but it's it wasn't this cold 15 years ago today. I still remember it vividly, but it was overcast.
Yes, it
was like this. And Matt, I'll start with you. Did you think this was remotely possible 15 years later that he'd have all these national championships and be considered the greatest coach in college football history, which he is? And just the fact that he's still here.
No. I mean, where do you want me to start? I mean, I would have been as drunk as that woman if I would have predicted at that time. Everybody would have thought I had been. If I said, you know what, he's going to make 9 national championship appearances, he's going to win 6, and now he's lined up to win number 7. Oh yeah, sure. Even the biggest Alabama proponents in the world would have poo-pooed me on that. And you're around him. You're a former player, national championship winner. Would you have believed it?
No, I thought he was going to be here 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
he
was known as
Miami, Michigan State.
Exactly.
He was a rebuild guy.
Yeah.
He was a rebuilder, and then it was like once he got to a program to a certain level, he wanted a new challenge, and now his challenge is sustaining.
His challenge is to continue to improve on his already.
But also, there's just no better place for him to be because he gets all the resources he asks for, essentially.
Look at the picture.
That's, unbelievable.
There's a picture of him accepting
I'm
the
sorry.
job, and it's on our Bama Insider. We're not looking at Sydney from the aerial view.
Bryant-Denny Stadium is the one
I've gone back
this out, and Bryant-Denny UA. It says 15 years ago, Alabama and coach ruined college football.
and
For a lot of people,
and Josh, if you can go back to that opening presser and just pull a couple clips, because he lays out in detail his vision of what he's going to do. And he said, we're going to win national championships. And I know a lot of coaches use that or say similar things, but he just had, you could tell step by step how he was going to do it. And I went back and listened to it and just recently, and I couldn't believe how prophetic he was in that opening press conference.
All right, let's go back 15 years ago. Here's what Coach Saban had to say in his opening press conference.
We want to have here. We want to be a big, physical, aggressive football team that is relentless in the competitive spirit that we go out and play with week in and week out. And what I would like for every football team to do that we play is to sit there and say, I hate playing against these guys. I hate playing them. Their effort, their toughness, their relentless resiliency to go out every play and focus on the next play and compete in a game for 60 minutes in the game, I can't handle.
Wow. He's talking about dominating the guy, make his quit. And at that point in time, nobody would have ever thought that it would be where it is now. And then here's the reason why is because not from that standpoint, but the reason why it is because he doesn't get caught up in what we get caught up. He only, it's day by day, it's hour by hour, it's minute by minute. It's to the detail of everything that's going on to be successful. He has a process, and he's talked about that. He's been through a lot of training on that, mental training with coaches, with other people that have taught him the process, the things to do. And that's happened over 2 decades or more, when he really began to kind of buy into what he needed to do to be successful as a coach, and was able to implement that into a program. And to me, it's, look, The Storm and the Tide, your book, to me, him coming down, when he got to Alabama, it was the perfect storm. You had a coach, you had the alumnus, you had the best fan base in America, you had the money, the support, the Booster Club, and you had Mal Moore. Then the other storm hit in 2011. Is that right? 11, April 27th. That's when the roots went deep into Tuscaloosa and in the state of Alabama. And you wrote a lot about that, Lars.
Yeah, absolutely. That tragedy affected him profoundly. And, he went into the hardest of the hardest hit areas right away. In a 24-hour span, he hugged more people than he had in the entirety of his life. And that did something to him. And it did something to Miss Terry. And he was no longer a coach. He was a community leader. He was the leader. He and Walt Maddox, Mayor Maddox, were the leaders getting Tuscaloosa through that horrible time. But Matt,
we need to get a break, so we'll come back. Yeah, on the other side, we'll get more into that. I want to remind you, too, about Fully Promoted. Do you struggle with finding new ideas for branding or marketing? They can help you with your business. Fully Promoted offers extensive branding and marketing ideas to tell your story and solutions of how to get your name in front of your potential customers, taking your product and brand to a whole new level, to the next level. Fully Promoted. Give them a call today at 205-406-6430 and mention you heard this ad on the Jay Barker Show for a special offer. That's 205-406-6430. Are you fully promoted? All right, stay with us as we wrap up hour number 1.
Yo, what's up? This is Robert 7-time champ, also known as Big Shot Bob, and you're listening to the Jay Barker Show.
Roll Tide, the best sports talk, period. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
O'Reilly. Get ready for winter weather and save money at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Replace your old wiper blades with a new pair of Rain-X Advanced Edge wiper blades and save $10 now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people for free. Plus, earn double O rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Under the biggest cactus in town, Taco Casa. Quality is number one. You got to start with a good quality product, but it's got to be at a good value to the customers.
Everything is about quality.
You just can't beat the quality, taste, and value.
And it's because we take pride in providing you with the best.
Good customer service and good food, good quality.
We want to make sure that we give that to them each and every time they come and visit us. The sense of pride that we have in the quality, the consistency of our food carries over to everything we do in the stores. That's Taco Casa.
The soothing scent of Vicks Vapor Rub. It's only one of the most iconic smells ever. That cooling, comforting scent generations of families have come to trust to help them feel better. And now you trust to soothe your family. Pick up some Vicks Vapor Rub in the little blue jar and wrap yourself with the calm only Vicks Vapor Rub can bring. Vicks Vapor Rub, always there for you.
Has the pandemic affected your business? Even with more and more customers going online in the past 5 years, online business has grown greatly due to the pandemic. Now more than ever, it's important to have a strong online presence so that customers can find your business and products easily. That's where Townsquare comes in to help. Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free competitive analysis to see how your business stands up to the competition. And if you're one of the first to sign up, you'll get $500 in free advertising on this radio station. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Be sure to join the University of Alabama's Black Faculty and Staff Association for their scholarship ball on Saturday evening, February 5th from 6 to 10. This funding opportunity aids BFSA in awarding scholarships, funding student center programming, and more. Each ticket purchase covers parking, admission, entertainment, dinner, and one specialty drink ticket. There will be an on-site cash bar as well. Tickets can be purchased now through their website at bfsa.ua.edu. That's bfsa.ua.edu.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Becoming partially sunny this afternoon, cold and breezy, the high 42. Clear tonight with a low of 26. Tomorrow a sunny day, the high 56. Then for Wednesday, dry during the day, but clouds will increase. A chance of showers Wednesday night, the high 57. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 35 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
I thought that was pretty fitting with Brian Robinson putting the A there for the Final Four and getting to the Final Two as Alabama beat Cincinnati this past weekend. Michigan is taken down by Georgia. It's a rematch of Alabama and Georgia in the national championship game. And again, Kirby Smart going up against Nick Saban, and one guy's beating him. This has been a former coach, and that is Jimbo Fisher. And if any time that Kirby's got a chance to make that happen, it's in this particular game coming up. The only thing I'll say about that is that Coach Saban's just been in these games so many times. For him, the experience he takes into the game, and Kirby, man, the taste they've got to have in second 26 after that particular play and winning the national championship. They want to redeem themselves and overcome that. But
was the fake punt in that game too when they're up? Because Georgia was that it? Was that
that's when Kirby called it?
Yeah,
apparently, I think it was in that game.
Georgia's up 13-3 at halftime. They had Alabama on the ropes.
Oh yeah. Well, then they put two in.
Was it that guy?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
It's great. You know what we're displaying by not being able to remember
is how many
Nick Saban's dominance in college football.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to me that sort of Kirby almost overthinks things sometimes when facing Nick Saban.
He's Tua the first couple of games of the year. He's overrunning him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I still don't think Stetson Bennett can beat Alabama. I don't.
You didn't think he could beat Michigan either.
I didn't.
Sorry, I will cease to throw that in your face.
Well, he didn't beat Alabama the first time, so at least you have a little bit more more
data.
I
believe last year in Tuscaloosa, Georgia had the lead at halftime, right? Going into the third quarter.
Yeah, sure.
but the fake punt was crazy because, I mean, they put the quarterback in. You knew something was up. It was so different. I mean, it just was not something that you would...
Easy to read.
Yeah, easy to read, exactly. All right, we'll continue. Hour number 2 coming up next. Stay with us on this Monday edition.
We all want to create a product or service that's going to change the marketplace. Jeremy and Gina Miller have done it with LocalRealty.com. LocalRealty.com, they've saved sellers over $600,000 in listing fees just in the last 2 years alone. How do they do it? The full service flat listing fee of $2,900, saving you thousands. 5-star ratings on Zillow with over 400 testimonials. Sold over 1,000 plus homes in the Birmingham metro area since 2016. Go online at LocalRealty.com or give them a call at 205-564-3200. That's 564-3200 for Local Realty. I know you know about Guthrie's Chicken Fingers, but do you know about the Guthrie family? 1992, they started selling chicken fingers. They were the first chicken finger restaurant and the first drive-through chicken finger restaurant ever. They've been around for over 50 years. Since the beginning, Guthrie's have been using only the finest ingredients in their Guthrie's boxes. While others have tried to copy, nothing tastes like Guthrie's chicken fingers dipped in that Guthrie's famous sauce. Guthrie's restaurants are expanding to give the entire U.S. a taste of their golden fried chicken fingers. Franchise opportunities are available. Go to Guthrie'sChicken.com. That's Guthrie'sChicken.com for more information.
I want to tell you about my good friends at Southern Assurance Group. Hi, it's Jay Barker. And look, Ken Needham has done a terrific job. Local company, 205-980-1505 is their number. That's 980-1505. Again, local, you can speak with the same team every time you give them a call. Full line of products from auto, home, boat, life. You'll trust them. They have a great deal as far as the relationships they build with their customers and 20 years with the same company and industry. Custom approach for your insurance needs. Give them a call, 980-1505. That is Southern Assurance Group. Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything, handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269.
Whether it's for lunch or dinner, head out to the Cajun Steamer. It's a New Orleans style joint that serves authentic Cajun and Creole food, cold beer, and great drinks. They are known for their wide array of Cajun classics and original creations prepared in an authentic fashion. This Louisiana kitchen can have you slapping the table for more. Stop by the Cajun Steamer and sign up for your Alabama, LSU, or Auburn fan card. Eat with the Cajun Steamer while your team is on TV and use your fan card to receive a 15% discount on your entire meal. With locations in Hoover, Trustful, Huntsville, and Franklin, Tennessee, they've got you covered. Head out today to the Cajun Steamer.
Rock and Roll Sushi, they're proud to be the original American-style sushi restaurant founded on great food and rock and roll music, boasting concepts and flavors, big, bold, and loud. They're the only place to experience the rock you love, the rolls you love, with the ones you love. It all began back in Mobile, Alabama, and then a decade later, tucked inside the Mobile Mall, expanded to encompass more than 40 locations across the southeastern U.S. Since day one, the most rewarding part of their work has been seeing guests fall in love with the amplified dining experience and become fans who return again and again to the biggest hit in town. That's Rock and Roll Sushi. Get out today for lunch or dinner.
Birmingham's best Mexican restaurant for over 20 years and counting. That's La Paz Restaurant in Crestline Village and Mount Laurel. They've got a great staff. Its delicious menu, award-winning cheese dip, and margaritas and vibrant atmosphere have helped to make La Paz a local favorite. Blue corn nachos, Texas barbecue quesadillas, steak and blue quesadillas, Baja fish tacos, signature fajitas, and much, much more. So head over to La Paz today. If you want a great lunch or a great dinner, you'll find all that at La Paz, Crestline, and Mount Laurel for lunch or dinner.
Following this summer's Tokyo Olympic Games, the eyes of the world will turn to Birmingham, Alabama, and the World Games 2022. Next July, the world will come together for the South's largest international sporting event since the 96 Centennial Olympic Games. 3,600 athletes will compete for gold in 34 sports, including lacrosse, softball, gymnastics, flag football, and more. Tickets are on sale now. Buy yours at twg2022.com.
WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Touchdown. That championship trophy is headed back to Tuscaloosa. Now 15 dominating with this defense. Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. You saw the Gatorade shower this time. I love it. Clippers wide open. Tide rolling again. Alabama again, the champions of college football. The roots are covered and will not be caught. Touchdown, great Alabama back on top. Guys to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins. The Crimson Tide will not be denied. The State cannot be stopped. Saban for the 7th national championship. National championship number 18. 13 in all. Absolute perfection.
Jay Barker led the Crimson Tide to a national championship in 1992. Winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and a finalist in New York for the Heisman Trophy. Voted the SEC Player of the Year. Drafted by the Green Bay Packers, seeing time with the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. The winningest quarterback in Alabama history with the record of 35-2-1. Member of the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. Jay Barker brings that same championship quality and football expertise to his own radio network and show. Joining him is University of Alabama professor Lars Anderson, who is also a New York Times best-selling author and a 20-year veteran of Sports Illustrated. Live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham, The Jay Barker Show.
Three wides to the left side. Price backpedals, looks, throws, caught, wide open. Slade Bolden, touchdown, Alabama. He made the grab about the 2-yard line, wide open, turned around and took it in for yet another touchdown. Here now, play action fake, pressure, and here comes Bama on a little dump pass that was covered up by the Crimson Tide's Daniel Wright. He saw that one and diagnosed it perfectly. It's now going to be a 26-yard field goal try again by Reichard. 3 of 3 this season, this distance, and now 4 of 4. Man in motion, Tucker from the far to the near side. Here's the snap. Ritter looks. He's going down as he eats carpet at the 20. DJ Dale. And the first sack of the ball game for Alabama. Bryce backpedals. They pick up the blitz. Bryce options it off right side. Robinson running room 30. Down the right sideline, stiff arm 40. And shoved out of bounds. Nice play, drawing in the defense, and a 27-yard shovel pass to the perimeter, and the run for Robinson. Here's Bryce, stands in, looks, throws near side, behind the deep, caught by Brooks. He is out of bounds at the 1-yard line. No, they'll say he went over the pylon. Touchdown, Alabama. Alabama shows pressure. Ritter steps up right into it, and down he goes. That's the second sack of the ball game for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and that was helped out by Ritter just stepping right up into Dallas Turner, and he made the play. Ritter under pressure, steps up, taken down by Anderson. The third sack of the ball game for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and that is how the first half will come to a close. Here's the snap to Ritter. He looks, he waits, he's down. That'll be another sack, the 4th by the Crimson Tide. Harris and Turner combining on the pressure of the Cincinnati quarterback. 2nd down, 6. Here's the snap. Play action fake. Price across the middle, wide open, Latu. Touchdown, Alabama. Cameron Latu wide open. A 9-yard touchdown reception, and Bama pads their lead to 23-6. Sends the man in motion. Here's the play action fake. Quarterback sacked. Down he goes. Number 5. Will Anderson was there for that one. It'll be a 43-yard field goal try for Will Reichert. Snap and spotter there. Kick is on the way. It is up and good. Snapping the ball, gives to Trey Sanders. He'll just run it up the middle off left tackle, and that is going to do it as Alabama holds Cincinnati to just 2 field goals in a 27-6 win.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2. And again, we're presented by Top Golf of Birmingham. And don't forget about Top Golf of Birmingham. You'll love it. Mark Grenier and all the folks there do a terrific job. We call it the bowling of this generation, but just a lot of fun food, drinks, and I tell you what, with corporate events, different birthday celebrations. I know Antonio was doing out there for a bachelor party one time. A great place to do those type of events, charitable events as well at Top Golf of Birmingham. Also driven by Sunny King Ford on the sunny side of the street. You'll see all the great folks there at Sunny King Ford and Oxford and Anderson. You know, Alabama's win and Georgia's win. If you look at Alabama, they won 7 straight against the Georgia Bulldogs, and that's been something that Kirby has tried to overcome. Whether it's been in a CFP final with the second 26, or whether it's been 3 other SEC title games, whether it's been this year's matchup as well, he has not been able to get over that hump with Coach Saban, and Coach Saban has been that way with most of all of the assistants besides one. And that happened this year with Jimbo Fisher. You thought, well, maybe that gives Kirby a little bit more confidence heading into the game. But Alabama combined score of 68-30 over the last Georgia and Cincinnati game. So right now they are hitting on all cylinders for the Crimson Tide. This past weekend, a little bit different as far as their approach. Kind of the approach we thought they were going to be all year long with B-Rob going for 204 yards rushing. And we saw the plays that also Bryce made in the passing game, and Ja'Cory Brooks continues to get better and better as a wide receiver with the Crimson Tide. He's going to be an absolute standout as time goes on, I think, and also going to help open up Jamison Williams against this Georgia defense. But Lars, your take on the 2 games, and as we continue to open it back up and talk more about the final coming up here on a week from today.
Well, this has got to be a first in college football history. It's certainly a first in the playoff era where you have 2 teams playing each other for the national championship that just played each other 1 game ago, right? So Alabama and Georgia played in the SEC championship on December 4th. This game's going to be played on January 10th. So 5 weeks, 5 weeks and just 1 game. And you go back to when Alabama played LSU in 2011, that game was November 5th. And this is January 9th, and they played on January 9th. So really like 9 weeks. So it's a big difference. So this has never happened before. And so to me, Matt, this almost comes down to coaching. I mean, it seems like this would come down to coaching and game plan more than anything else, because Kirby Smart is going to make adjustments, right? On the defensive side.
So is Alabama.
I know, but it's just how do you react, and does Alabama change their game plan because on offense because it worked so beautifully the first time around, and I wouldn't think they would single cover Jamison Williams.
That hadn't worked all year. The only thing that's worked when he got a little banged up in the Cincinnati game, he had to come out. And I thought Alabama still maintained dominance of that football game, even without one of the best receivers in the entire nation. We can break this down X's and O's all we want to. Georgia needs to adjust this. Alabama needs to make sure their offensive line returns to the dominance they had in Atlanta. I still maintain, I bet you guys agree with me, it's inside the bonnet. It's inside Kirby. It's what Nick Saban said in his news conference 15 years ago. I want teams to fear us. I want them to hate us lining up. And it's all inside of Georgia. And right now it's inside as far as a player is concerned. What player is it inside his head more than anybody? Stetson Bennett. And therein lies the real difficulty when it comes down to coaching is, can Kirby get him out of that? And so far, the record is 0-7. 0-7 against Georgia. But
Yeah, Saban all-time 92 against Georgia. I think Urban Meyer may only be the only one that has a better record against Georgia than Coach Saban overall. When you look at last game and the matchups, I mean, this is definitely going to be Alabama's receivers again versus Georgia's secondary if Alabama can't run. Now, here's the thing. Brian Robinson surprised us, showed up in that game. Weren't sure whether or not he was going to play. It's kind of a day-to-day decision. He is a lot healthier now than he was then, as well as Trey Sanders. So at least the backfield is getting healthier as the weeks have gone on. And I think you're going to see that even more heading into this national championship game. But Bryce Young was the story. He absolutely destroyed Georgia's defense, 421 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaged 16.2 yards per completion, finding Jamison Williams for scoring strikes of 67 and 55 yards. Williams will have even a bigger spotlight now on him with John Mitchell been out. So
he won
again,
that. Bryce won the Heisman that day.
There's no doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
And things did go Alabama's way in that game.
Right down to a couple of calls, rulings. But still, if Bryce was able to be that effective against, at the time, and I guess still is, the best defense in the nation, what does lend anybody to think that Alabama still can't do it again?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and with their 2.5, what is it, 2.5,
2.5, I think.
Yeah, 2.5.
Ask Lars.
Yeah. Again, we'll say yummy.
I just don't. I don't understand how, Jay, the offensive line for Alabama played just lights out, and it played, to me, so much better in the SEC championship game than they had all season long. Like, I just don't understand how that could happen.
I do think it's matchups. I do think that this team tends to play at the level of their competition. I think there was a sense of urgency. I think they felt disrespected. The offensive line felt disrespected. And, look, Georgia's defense, if you look at, they're really good at stopping the run, but it really pass rushing is where I don't say they struggled, but that was not their strength. And Alabama was able to protect Bryce Young. And Brian Robinson in the backs did a tremendous job getting the linebackers on blitzes and the safeties and the corners and really hitting them down low, allowing Bryce to move around, make plays. I tell you, the guy Alabama's got to worry about because he came on really strong as the game went on, and that's tied in Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers, one of the best players.
He's scary.
He's George Kittle.
Yeah.
As a freshman.
6'4", 230, and true freshman, came in. We saw him at the beginning of the year and go, man, this kid's going to be special. Watched him in the championship game. As the game went on late, you saw him. He was their go-to guy, and he was making first downs. He was making plays for them offensively. So Alabama's got to really key in on him, and I know Kirby's going to want to try to get him involved as much as possible in their offensive game plan. The problem now is Alabama knows about him. They realize they better stick to him and not allow him to have those type of catches. But some of the catches were unbelievable. Alabama made a lot of great plays too. You can look at it's. We were talking to Harrison that they were riding back from the game, and just how it really is just the smallest things that can win or lose a game. It's barely tipping a ball away, barely making pass completion, all that type of stuff. But there he is right there, the tight end. You're watching us on BamaInsider Live, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We got Mick Gillespie who's going to be joining us here in just a few minutes as well, as he is with us on BamaInsider, and you can watch us live there noon to 2 each and every day, also throughout the radio network, all throughout the state and down on the Gulf Coast, as well as BamaInsider's Facebook Live. So, again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as well each and every day. All right, we'll continue live from ABX. Lars Anderson, Matt Coulter, I'm Jay Barker. You're listening to The Jay Barker Show.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
Roll Tide, the best sports talk, period. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Cardiology Consultants, West Alabama's oldest cardiology practice, with Doctors Hill, Anderson, Lewis, Shaw, Caraway, and Proctor. They're proud to welcome Dr. Petra Lynch, January 4, 2022, and recently Dr. Vishal Daya for everything cardiac and peripheral vascular health related. Cardiology Consultants now accepting new patient appointments. 205-752-0694 or email now at mycdmd.com.
Hey, Pete, how's business? It's great. Foot traffic's still way down, but more people are finding me online.
Nice. How'd you pull that off?
Well, the first thing I did was go to mylocalcustomers.com to see exactly how many searches there were for businesses like mine.
So I guess there were a lot?
Yeah, there were hundreds of local searches every month. So after I saw that, they helped me position my business online to get in front of those customers.
That's awesome. I wonder how many people are searching for my services around here.
Well, it's quick and easy to get the answer. Plus, it's free. Just go to mylocalcustomers.com to find out. If there are a lot of searches, you should definitely get in front of them. If there aren't, no harm, no foul.
Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free local customer analysis that will show you how many customers are searching online for your type of business. It's quick, easy, and free. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
Deep breath.
Mai's virtual meditation studio has never been busier.
Imagine not working.
They need a remote assistant to realign their scheduling.
Blank calendar. Sorry, back to your breath.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Make calls, schedule virtual interviews, and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This tax filing season could be one for the record books. There are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits on the table, and Jackson Hewitt will help make sure you get every one you deserve. Tax credits for being a parent, taking care of a parent, taking classes, and so much more. Don't leave thousands on the table. Jackson Hewitt will make sure you get credit for all you do and get your biggest refund guaranteed. Learn more and find your nearest location at jacksonhewitt.com.
Before Bamboo HR, I feel like crying just thinking about it.
We were still handling everything via paper, and we literally had paper stack. It was all in spreadsheets and like folders. From the moment I started using it, I felt calmer.
As soon as we started using the Bamboo like onboarding checklist, I mean, it was extremely easy.
Headcount, turnover, years of service. Like there's just so many different reports that I use at different points in time.
I'm like totally set free to focus on the people, to focus on development, to focus on team dynamics.
It's freeing me up to do more of the stuff that actually matters in HR, which is interacting with people, learning from them, and then building stuff for them.
Everything is in this one place. I can't even imagine what it would be like without Bamboo HR.
We're Bamboo HR, and we'd love to set you free to do great work. Come try our award-winning all-in-one HR software for free with no strings attached. Visit bamboohr.com/hats for this free trial offer. That's bamboohr.com/hats.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Becoming partially sunny this afternoon, cold and breezy, the high 42. Clear tonight with the low at 26. Tomorrow a sunny day, the high 56. Then for Wednesday, dry during the day, but clouds will increase. A chance of showers Wednesday night, the high 57. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 35 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Let me just say this. My next stop, you know where Lake Burton is? It's in North Georgia, right on the North Carolina border, Rabun County. All right, it's a lake. It's where they made Deliverance. If you ever saw the movie. All right, that's where I go in the summertime. That's where I like it. And that's my next stop. All right, so as long as the people here are committed to trying to win, I'm going to want to be the coach here. And at some point in time, maybe somebody else can do it better. And if that time comes, that's where I'm going, Lake Burton. They don't have a football team there. We got a pontoon boat, though, a good one.
All right, welcome back in, and a really good comment there from Coach Saban, kind of telling us exactly what he felt at that time, and he said, "Hey, really important to you guys and the fan base, the support, and being able to win." And he said his next stop is going to be Lake Burton, and he has kept his promise. As it looks to be, I don't think he's retiring anytime shortly, to be honest. And I think we've talked about that many times, but he's got a chance to not only win this one, but even got a great team coming back for 2022, which is pretty unbelievable if you think about it. They'll win it this year and then have a chance to win it again 3 in a row, and then maybe have back-to-back Heisman Trophy winners.
What percentage of the Alabama fan base, the hardcore fan base, knows of Lake Burton now because of Nick Saban?
Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
He should get paid for the real estate value of the real estate. That's such a great place. A lot of great home. A lot of coaches live or have Blake House there on Lake Burton. All right, joining us now, let's go to, and he's called @broadcaster Mick, and that is his handle. And Mick Gillespie joining us, BamaInsider, as he's on each and every night of the pregame shows, as well as after the game shows, Sunday night show, the Monday night quarterback show that will go on tonight as well. But always a pleasure to welcome him in. He is down in Fairhope, Alabama, in his studio live with us. Mick Gillespie, how you doing, my man?
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, man. Hey, look, I tell you what, the offensive line was great. And Brian Robinson had a great game, too. I thought it would look exactly like the Ole Miss game, so I'm going to pat myself on the back, unlike the Alabama-Georgia game where I thought Georgia would be a lot different. I think I had this one handicapped pretty good. And, Brian Robinson had a career game, and the offensive line busted a bunch of holes for him. So it was everything I expected it to be. When Alabama came out running at the beginning of the game, that didn't surprise me. Why would you throw on Sauce Gardner and Kobe Bryant if you didn't have to? And there was just a dominance in that football game that reminded me of Ole Miss, which reminded me of Alabama before they kind of got into this whole spread attack that they're able to go to as well. When Lane Kiffin, became offensive coordinator and they opened things up.
Mick, what do you attribute the improved play of the offensive line to? Going back to the SEC championship game, and I know there were some issues sort of later in the game against Cincinnati, but do you think, one, what do you attributes to that, and two, do you think the offensive line is capable of replicating in the national championship game what they did in the SEC championship game?
Well, I think that the defensive line has gotten better as guys have gotten experience. I mean, Will Anderson was banged up, took that low hit against Mercer, slowed him down. Even at 70%, he was still great. I mean, he's a legend. I mean, he's a playing legend right now. The guy's amazing. And then as he's gotten healthy because of injuries, with Chris Allen going down, all of a sudden now Drew Sanders is playing. Drew Sanders goes down, and now Dallas Turner's playing. Well, all those guys are healthy. Phil Mathis has been great. This is this team up front is able to get after the quarterback. They stop the run. They help the secondary out by pressuring the quarterback. And I don't think that is going to change at all. And that also reminds me of last year's team where they started off slow and then got better and better as the season went on up front. So I don't think that's going to change. And honestly, I think that's where I think that's what's led Alabama to this point that they're at right now, playing for the national championship. And then flipping the coin to the offensive line, they've had two really good games back to back. They're going to see, I feel like against Georgia this time around, they're going to see a lot more blitzes. But I was really impressed with what they did against Georgia. And then they came back out and just smacked Cincinnati right in the mouth. Cincinnati wanted to play Bama. So they got that opportunity. And then they found out that to beat Alabama or to play in the SEC, you've got to be able to win the interior battles. And they weren't able to. I felt like the score wasn't really even indicative of the game that I watched. But Alabama gets into these championship games, and that first round always seems like they just try to win the game and don't try to show too much. Felt like that last year against Notre Dame. Felt like that when they played Washington. Felt like that. You go through and look at those games, and it's just kind of like, we're just going to do what we got to do and then save it for the championship.
No, I agree with you. And it's almost like they realize we can physically dominate this team. We don't have to do a lot, show a lot offensively. And that's what they did against Cincinnati. Able to go out there and run the ball like they did. When you look at this matchup again, though, it's always tough to play a team twice, no matter if you won the game or lost the game. We're talking earlier about that 2011 LSU matchup, 9-6 in Tuscaloosa. Then Alabama goes to Sugar Bowl, dominated LSU in that game. Who do you think? I mean, with Coach Saban, when he plays you, when he prepares for you, or has this much time, I can't imagine. And I even think probably for George as well, again, knowing the self-scouting that's going on, yes, you take one game at a time. But I think Alabama knew that this is going to be their next matchup again, was against Georgia. They think saw the writing on the wall. Again, it's tough to prepare for Saban in games like this. He's just got so much experience with it. And again, 7-0 against this Georgia team since he's been there. So I don't know. Everybody thinks it's going to be tough for Alabama to win it, and it might be. But I just have a lot of confidence, Mick and Coach Saban, his preparation.
There's something about Coach Saban right now. I mean, there's just a little pep in his step. He's got that sparkle in his eye. I think he realized that this team has bought in, and he's got them right where he wants them. They're not going to take Georgia lightly. And I'm not going to fall for the same thing that I fell for last time looking at Georgia, who I really think is a great team, and they have a bunch of good players. But the problem that Georgia has is the problem that Alabama ran into in 2015. How many times have we talked about this? They won the game against Clemson, but it took everything they had to beat Clemson because of the way that Clemson played offense, because of the rules that are involved. And Alabama changed the way that they attack things on offense. Georgia is playing that old Alabama style. And the problem is that when you fall behind, it's really hard to get back into the game with that style of offense, against a good defense. Alabama's going to D them up. Stetson Bennett's going to have problems with the pass rush, just like he did last year, just like he did last game. I've thought about this a lot. Like, okay, they're going to play twice. Georgia's going to want revenge, and maybe they'll be a little bit more motivated. I think that the biggest difference is going to be Georgia's going to blitz more. And that's something that I was surprised that they didn't do last time. Why didn't they watch the film against LSU and the film against Auburn and the film against Texas A&M, where you saw like overloading the side of the line and sending guys because they thought that their front four would be able to get penetration and force pressure. And of course, Bryce Young didn't get sacked once. So I'm looking at that being different. But 1999 was my senior year at Alabama, and the Crimson Tide went to Florida and they beat Steve Spurrier. And then they played again in the SEC championship game, and they kicked the crap out of Steve Spurrier. And I felt like that the game that they won down at the Swamp, they really weren't expecting to win. They were a big, 17-point underdog, a lot like Alabama was an underdog to Georgia the first time, not 17, but it was around a touchdown, and they're an underdog again. But I feel like this team knows that they can win, that they're going to be confident and loose. I feel like Georgia has all the pressure in the world on them because if they lose this game, there's going to be all the questions. This has lined up perfectly for them to win. I picked them to win at the beginning of the year, Georgia. But, as I look at this matchup and the way that Alabama's played, if Bryce Young can stay healthy for the entire game, and the way that this team has been so resilient, I just feel like Alabama's going to go into this game and they're going to play their style of football. And if Georgia wins, it's not going to be because Alabama makes mistakes and gives it away. I think it'll be that Georgia's going to have to play the best game that they've played. Kind of like the 2009 SEC championship game where Alabama beat Tim Tebow in Florida. I still think that's one of the greatest teams in SEC history, but because they lost that one game where Alabama played about as flawless a football as you could possibly play, we don't talk about them anymore. And they would have rematched. If you put the two best teams in the championship game back then, or had a 4-team playoff, Florida and Alabama would have probably played again, and who knows how it would have turned out. But it's going to take that type of effort for Georgia to beat Alabama, I think.
Is the biggest effort and the biggest struggle in this entire football game going to take place inside the mind of Kirby? Can he get Nick out? I think that they have to overcome that before they start blitzing.
Well, I agree. I think that's going to be a battle to watch because Georgia might feel like they need to take chances in this football game, trick plays and stuff like that, go forward on fourth. And it could be very similar to the Ole Miss game where Lane Kiffin kind of just played himself out of the game early, because they didn't get the first downs on the fourth down tries and all that stuff didn't work. If Alabama gets ahead in this game early, I just don't see them taking their foot off of the gas. And I think it gets tougher and tougher for Georgia to score if they have to come from behind. So the formula for Georgia to win is to get ahead and be able to establish the run and pound Alabama. I don't think they're good enough to throw on Alabama because I don't think that they'll be able to stop Alabama's pass rush, which really no one's been able to do here lately. And they certainly didn't do it last time. So, yeah, if Kirby tries stuff, which we've seen him do it in the past, the Justin Fields, fake kick, and the SEC championship game and those type of things, it could totally backfire. There's a lot of pressure on Kirby right now because if he loses this game, it'll be 8 straight losses overall to Alabama, and people are going to be very restless in Athens, saying that we got a great team, but we can't beat Alabama.
All right, we'll continue. Mick will continue with us on the other side. I want to remind you about one of our great sponsors, and that is DTPM. Since 1993, DTPM is your total solution provider, providing a comprehensive array of diagnostic lab test equipment, supplies, and services. Visit their website at dtpm.com to learn more. The leading provider of turnkey laboratory solutions, currently servicing customers in 47 states and growing. They remain national in scope, local in service. If you're looking for laboratory services or setups, DTPM, they're your partner from the beginning and provide customizable total program management solutions, including complete laboratory setup and management. DTPM provides total program management service treatments for treatment centers, physician offices, recovery courts, reference laboratories, urgent cares, any type of practice. If you're sending your labs out, get it done inside your practice. Better outcomes for your patient and better outcomes for the practice as well. Check them out, dtpm.com. I will return live on BamaInsider.com and the YouTube channel and also on their Facebook Live. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and on the Jay Barker Radio Network all throughout Alabama and on the Gulf Coast. We'll be back. The Jay Barker Show live from AVX.
What's up? This is Robert Ory, 7-time NBA champ, also known as Big Shot Bob, Roll Tide, and you better listen to the Jay Barker Show.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
Hi, it's Jay Barker for AVX, Audio Video Excellence. They are the premier provider for custom audio-visual design and installation in the Southeast. AVX seeks excellence in everything it does, including a superior employee experience. AVX offers employees an industry-leading salary, insurance benefits, and 401k options. AVX technicians also receive the highest level of certification and continue training, making it one of the most awarded and decorated companies in the industry. Career opportunities are available now for technicians in Birmingham and Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Join the AVX team by contacting them at avxinc.com.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. If you're average and you're looking for a new pair of running or walking shoes, I suggest you go to an average shoe store where they'll sell you a pair of average shoes built for the average person with average size feet. But here's the thing, you're not average. No one is. We all exercise differently. We run differently. We walk differently. And our feet come in all sorts of widths and lengths. That's why at the New Balance Birmingham store, we employ fit specialists who will conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot's size and shape along with your gait and then determine the best New Balance shoes custom fit to you. Because New Balance isn't your average shoe and you're not average either. Experience the difference an unaverage custom fit makes today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Hi, it's Jay Barker for Siebel's in downtown Homewood, and now's the time to get your special place ready. Come in and let Siebel's design your porch with Kingsley Bait outdoor furniture and one of their custom swinging beds. For the groom, you're going to need their Carson swivel recliner. Siebel's is the #1 Carson recliner dealer in the country, and Sarah and I, we've got one, and we absolutely love it. Be sure also to check out their famous custom-made beds and bunk beds, built by Siebel's and made up with some of their best linens in town. Their staff can truly put your bed together like no other store. You can also follow Siebel's and shop on Instagram and Facebook. And be sure to call or go by their special store in downtown Homewood. The number is 800-448-1962. That's 800-448-1962. And just for listening, go to SiebelsCottage.com and order anything you want and type in Jay Barker for a special discount code. That's Jay Barker for a special discount code available only to our listeners for a limited time on The Jay Barker Show. Siebel's in downtown Homewood or online at SiebelsCottage.com.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There is. It's called GoFan. Check out GoFan.co the next time you need a ticket for your high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit GoFan.co now. That's GoFan. Letter C, letter O.
I have a tremendous amount of respect for tradition. I have a tremendous amount of respect for all the people who created that tradition. All the players, all the coaches, whether it's Coach Bryant, all the people who worked hard to create that has created a legacy for the University of Alabama that's important. It needs to be respected. It needs to be recognized. But at the same time, we need to look forward in terms of what we're going to accomplish here. Because even though that says that all those things have been accomplished here and can be accomplished here, we need to go through what we need to do to accomplish them now and in the future in terms of the kind of football players we're able to recruit here, the kind of things that we do to show a commitment to having a standard of excellence that's going to help people be champions. And I guess that's how I would look at it. I think it's what you do now.
Some more great quotes there from Coach Saban, and hard to believe 15 years ago, that's when he was announced as Alabama's next head football coach. And it said earlier, a lot of people thought, okay, 3 to 5, maybe 7 years. 3 to 5 was kind of the, I think, the ballpark that everybody thought that he would be at Alabama just based on his past and what he had done in at different schools. He's kind of a builder or remaker of programs, and then we'll move on to something different. And now 15 years later, but he even said it in his press conference. Matt, I don't think you were in here earlier. We played one of his comments talking about the fact that Lake Burton, he said, my next stop is Lake Burton. And that was 15 years ago. He said, if you're committed to this and we get all the resources and we put everything where it needs to be, we can win. And he's been honest to that. Let's go back to Mick Gillespie joining us down in Fairhope in his studio there. And he's with BamaInsider, and you can see all of his shows all throughout the week. Does a terrific job. But Mick, 15 years ago, Nick Saban hired as Alabama's head coach. Hard to believe it's been since 2007, but and I saw you kind of shaking your head a little bit when I was talking about the 3 to 5 years or, maybe 7 years. Nobody, I don't know anybody that thought he's going to be here for 15 years. And I think he's here for another 5 or more, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, my first thought is it's his personality that makes this work. There's a lot of people over the years who have been in leadership positions in the athletic department that were really good at messing things up. I mean, that's just the truth. And I hate to say that if you make it a negative thing, but these football coaches would come in and then, the power struggle, whether it be someone in, one of the athletic directors or the president or boosters, they would get in there, and then some of the other coaches would complain about football and then just start trouble. Nick Saban came in and was like, look, I'm going to run this thing, get out of my way. And the minute he came in, he tempered down those all of that outside noise. And ever since then, it's just been magic. I've talked about this before. Bill Battle, I'm just not a fan of him. I was glad when he left. I thought maybe he might mess it up, but you know what? The other people stepped in, and it's just been great. Look, the smartest thing to do is just let Nick Saban run his ship the way that he runs it, stay out of his way. And when they've done that, it's been magic. He's the greatest, and it's not just because he can recruit. It's not just because he can win on Saturdays and all of that stuff, but it's also dealing with administration. And sometimes administration, and I saw it after, look at the way that Gene Stallings left and then the debacles that came in for Alabama after that. I mean, look, this is just honest talk here amongst the four of us, right? That to me is why Nick Saban's been able to accomplish so much, is that Mal Moore was smart. He went out and got him, laid the groundwork, did anything the guy wanted, got it set up. And then Nick Saban's ability to control all of the outside noise. And sometimes the outside noise is right there in the middle of the athletic department.
Guys, Lake Burton actually played a key role in getting Nick Saban to Alabama. And I've told this story just once or twice, and it's in Chasing the Bear, my book. But Mal Moore didn't know Nick Saban very well. But his nephew, Chuck Moore, was a home builder in North Georgia, and he did renovation work on Saban's house on Lake Burton. And Chuck Moore just marveled at how Saban was constantly talking to his team of builders, and Saban was offering words of encouragement, and how he would consult with the home builder, reviewing plans, asking questions, tweaking designs. And Moore eventually, he told his uncle Mal, he's like, this guy named Nick Saban, he is Bear Bryant. He is Bear Bryant. And so, and when Moore was doing the coaching search, Mal Moore was doing the coaching search, he called Chuck. And at one point, Chuck said, when Nick was at LSU, he and I would talk football all the time. And he said the one job that he would consider was Alabama. And so that was the first time that Mal Moore realized I might have a shot at landing Nick Saban.
And then he got on
a plane. And as Jay has said many times, what did the pilot say? Or what did he say to the pilot?
Mal told the pilot, if Coach and Terry do not get on this plane, take me straight to Cuba. I don't want to come back. Or I don't want to come back.
Great quote.
He did not want to face Alabama fans without Coach Saban in tow. But he made it 15 years ago today. Unbelievable. The press conference, the reception that he got that particular day, as well as what he's accomplished.
Will this become a state holiday, Nick Saban Day? Should it be? Should we petition Governor Ivey?
I don't even think it's going to take a petition. Somebody walks in and says no, and she'll agree with it. But, I don't know about the politics of it, but you might get.
I would think it'd be good politics. You align with Nick Saban in the state of Alabama. It's good politics.
But the representatives that tend to pull for the orange and blue might not be as fond of that.
That's true.
Hey, guys, Mick, I want to lead with you. I noticed a different demeanor in Nick Saban in his news conference 2 hours ago than I did at any point in this season, because there were times he soft-sold it. There was times he kind of, I don't want to say baby, but he coaxed his players, encouraged his players. Is he not down to brass tacks and no BS after listening to that news conference this morning?
Look, I think this was his best job. I mean, I never would have expected this team to get to this point after the way that we saw them play this year. And it was, I was just looking at the results, the schedule and the results. They lost to Texas A&M, and then they came back and they beat Mississippi State, but they struggled against LSU. They couldn't put Arkansas away. They should have lost to Auburn. Just didn't expect them to be here. And I mean, maybe that's just, my own stupidity, but And then every press conference, normally he's like, they win a game and he's upset and he's not happy and he's talking about everything that they should have done. This year it was patting guys on the back and telling us to appreciate the wins, which is something that I've always believed in. I think it's hard to win a game, and you should appreciate every single one that you get, no matter what sport it is. When you get to that level, all of them are important. But he kept saying that. He just kind of kept that, like you said, he was just coaxing these guys along. And then all of a sudden that drive against Auburn at the end of the game changed. I think it just changed the course of this season. I think that that's the moment that they finally figured it out. I think that he kept saying that they needed to have more confidence. I think that's when they realized that they could do it and that they're a special team. And then since then, it's been a different group. I don't feel like they're the young guys anymore that are trying to figure it out. I feel like they're a pack of wolves and they're going after a meal. I mean, they hunted Georgia down, and they were losing in that game by 10, and they came back and stomped them. And then the Cincinnati game, the same thing. So I just feel like he realizes that he's got these guys where he wants them, that they've all bought in, that they're all pulling in the same direction, and going into this championship game, win or lose, I really feel like he knows that they're going to play their style of football and that they're going to be a hard out.
Yeah, and I would say this. I mean, look at just the beginning of the year, injuries. I mean, we saw Chris Allen go down. We saw Will Anderson have some issues there after the Mercer game. Is that right? Yeah. Mercer. Okay. So once you go through those moments and you're trying to figure out, okay, what does the team need? How do I address these things with them? And like you said, Mick, they were young, and it was a psychological battle, how to push the right buttons and get these guys to play at a high level. I really honestly thought, and I think a lot of people thought this too, even people in the program thought that this was going to be one of the best defenses Nick Saban has ever had at Alabama, based on the talent, Henry To'oTo'o coming in, and just everything that kind of the pieces that seemed to come together in spring. And yet they had a lot of growing up and also cohesiveness and playing together. They needed that time, and they've gotten better, a lot better as the years gone on. And Alabama once again playing for another national title. Mick, tell everybody about the Monday night quarterback show that you got going on tonight, and all the other shows you got going on BamaInsider.
Yeah, we got a packed week at BamaInsider. We're going to be covering everything, including the press conference today. You can watch that on BamaInsider. I'll be on there tonight with Trey Yannity for Monday Night Quarterback. That's at 6 o'clock on the BamaInsider YouTube channel. We'll have our score prediction show this week. Last night, we went overtime with the calls because, so many people that call into that show do such a great job of talking football. They're really smart, a great, intelligent audience. And I feel like that's kind of the case with Alabama football fans. We had a great time. We'll have the BamaInsider tailgate show Sunday night this week to preview the game on Monday, and we'll see what happens. But it's an exciting time right now to follow Alabama because, like you guys were saying, I think if they get this championship, man, watch out. It could be a run that we've never seen in college football.
Mick, as always, great stuff. Thank you, my man. Have a great week. Hope you had a great New Year and a Merry Christmas. I know we already talked about that, but we really appreciate you being with us.
Anytime, guys. Happy New Year.
All right, my man. Thank you. Happy New Year. All right, we'll continue. We'll wrap up hour number 2 here on this Monday edition and Nick Saban Day. We'll be back.
Hey, this is Roger Hoover, a broadcaster with the Crimson Tide Sports Network, and you're tuned in to The Jay Barker Show.
Roll Tide, the best sports talk, period. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
The Alabama Securities Commission protects you from financial fraud. Anyone asking you for investment money must be licensed. Your careful art before you invest. Call our hotline at 1-800-222-1253 to verify the licensing of the person making an offer and the product. Don't lose your hard-earned money. Learn to protect yourself at asc.alabama.gov. Paid for by the Investor Protection Trust and brought to you by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
This whole wall needs to be shelving too. This is a focal point in a restaurant.
Ilani's new restaurant will have the largest wine cellar in the city. She needs a robust sommelier with notes of procurement manager.
3 sections for France. I mean, this is the biggest.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you ever wondered why eyeglasses cost so much? The eyewear industry has been dominated by a single company that's kept prices artificially high.
Yikes.
Warby Parker was created to change that. They design and produce their own eyewear and then sell it directly to you for a fraction of the price. Warby Parker's high-quality glasses start at just $95, including your prescription. Try 5 pairs of frames for free. Go to warbyparker.com to pick your 5 frames to try on at home for free. That's warbyparker.com.
You know what happens in a plasma chamber?
Big stuff. Science stuff.
Diamonds. I'm Tom Osmond. Fincher & Osmond Jewelers carries artisan-created diamonds.
Earth and human safe.
And bigger. Lots bigger.
Fincher & Osmond diamonds from the mines or artisan-created diamonds.
They're all diamonds.
If you want to give her the big stuff, you've got to see these diamonds.
FincherandOsmond.com, a little tricky to find on McFarland Boulevard between Edgar's and Local Roots.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Ready for an oil change? We can help get the right protection at the right price. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Daily Protection or Valvoline Max Life High Mileage Motor Oil with an STP oil filter for just $28.99. Visit one of our 6,000 stores or order from AutoZone.com for same-day store pickup or next-day delivery. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
I can go from 0 to 60 way too fast.
Who knew electric vehicle owners were having so much fun?
20 or 30 years ago, I owned a gas sports car, and this car is much quicker.
It's a great, fun car to drive. When you put your foot on the accelerator, it just goes. They're fun, they're fast, they're efficient.
Visit driveelectricalabama.com to learn how you can start having fun driving an electric vehicle.
Sponsored by the Alabama Clean Fuels Coalition, the ABA, and this station.
Dell's New Year event is here with up to $200 off on laptops with Intel Core processors. Check out the precision-crafted Dell XPS laptop with all the performance you need to unleash your creativity. Or game without limits with powerful Alienware PCs engineered for the ultimate gaming experience. Kick off 2022 by scoring incredible savings on accessories like webcams, monitors, gaming headsets, and more. Plus free shipping on everything. Just call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Becoming partially sunny this afternoon, cold and breezy, the high 42. Clear tonight with the low at 26. Tomorrow is sunny day, the high 56. Then for Wednesday, dry during the day, but clouds will increase. A chance of showers Wednesday night, the high 57. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 35 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
All right, Lars Anderson is writing the legislation for Nick Saban Day for the January 3rd, 2007.
I think I can get bipartisan support.
You got 3.
No
You're also leading the Anderson crew here.
Yeah. I got to say,
Matt had to dig into that pizza. I mean, that so
the crust is just.
Da Vinci's Pizza is the best in downtown Homewood. It's probably my favorite restaurant. But I will say my kids have been pretty well behaved.
They've been great.
Since we got them pizza.
Yeah, they just
all
need
right,
some
with
food.
mouthful of pizza. Let me ask y'all something real quick going out. Nothing against Will Anderson. He was deserving of defensive MVP. I had one player above him in defensive MVP. Do y'all?
Who did you have?
Brian Branch.
Yeah,
I just
Brian
thought he played
great.
an unbelievable game. He led them in tackles.
Mm-hmm.
had a couple of key passes broken up. And while I continue to chew, if Tua doesn't make that tip on Cincinnati's first drive, I don't know if we're looking at the same football game.
I agree with that. And also, Helms made a great trip the guy up on that when he got outside and he was able to get him tackled down.
He had nothing but green in front of him.
It's going to be a touchdown. I mean, that's the little small things you talk about win or lose games. What were you going to say, Lars?
No, I agree. Matt Pincus, our correspondent, so to speak, in Columbus, Ohio, he texted me and he's like, if that first drive of the second half is different, totally different ball game for Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think they win, but again, I thought you got to give Cincinnati so much credit. They proved that they were deserving.
Yeah,
I agree.
Well, and Mick brought this up, and we brought it up early in the show, is that Alabama, I agree. I don't think they played. I mean, I think they played to the level of competition. They actually played not down, but they just didn't show everything. I mean, they didn't do a lot besides they're going to run the football. They knew they could do that and physically beat Cincinnati and continue to save some of the things they've worked on all year for the Georgia Bulldogs that they have not shown yet. So we'll see. It'll be a great matchup. We're beginning it. The preview of this national title game. Alabama going for their 19th. Nick Saban going for his 8th overall and 7th at Alabama. Just an amazing story. Today is the 15th anniversary of Coach Saban at Alabama. Thanks to Josh Smith, our producer, all of you for listening. Lars and Matt Coulter, Jay Barker Show. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham